Coverage. Hi everybody, thank you for coming back to our wheelchair yoga class. If you're here for the first time, you're in for a treat. We've got a blustery day today, so even when it's windy like this and even when it's choppy, Biscayne Bay never disappoints. It's always so beautiful. And we're really lucky, once again, to be on board the Impossible Dream catamaran. It's a gorgeous boat built with universal design, specifically to accommodate people in wheelchairs, where you can come in a wheelchair to be a member of the crew, or you can come for a recreational voyage. The barrier-free design is welcoming to everybody. And this chair yoga class is sponsored by the Woody Foundation, which is a local nonprofit, local to here, Miami. They've been around since 2011, and they specialize in helping people who have had brain and spinal cord injuries and anyone who is facing paralysis for any reason. And they do a lot of great work here in Miami. So the whole mission of doing this yoga class is to combine efforts to be welcoming and to demonstrate that we can make life happy, that we can keep everybody happy, keep everybody moving. We can engage in accessible sports, adaptive sports, just to acknowledge that everybody deserves to be recognized. And these yoga classes that we do on board the Impossible Dream they're always a combination of local efforts. So we have the classes sponsored by the Woody Foundation on board the Impossible Dream catamaran. My name is Natalie, and I'm from Dharma Yoga Studio. I'm so happy to have you. So we have this class being live streamed on 3 Facebook pages simultaneously, and we also are doing it by Zoom. Yes. So we already have Melissa here. Hi, Melissa. From here, right here in Miami. We have Rob here from Tampa. We have Stacy from Sunlight Yoga in San Francisco. I believe she's in Baltimore. Oh, Baltimore. Oh, other people from Baltimore. Okay, cool. So we've been doing these chair yoga classes for years, and since this pandemic hit, we've been kind of forced to do them live stream. And now that we are doing it that way, we realize that it's so cool. It makes it really even more accessible because people can join us from all other parts of the country and parts of the world. So really at this time of year, the Impossible Dream is usually gearing up to make their annual voyage, their summer voyage up to Maine and sometimes into Nova Scotia. And this year, everything is a little bit different, obviously, because of the pandemic. So their trip is somewhat delayed. Hopefully, it won't be delayed for very long. We're taking all kinds of measures to keep safe. We're practicing social distancing, which is why you'll see only me, unfortunately, today, instead of a lot of our friends that usually join us in wheelchairs. So I'm just going to guide you through some gentle moves, some strengthening moves. And of course, we're going to be doing a lot of upper body work, but let's not ignore the fact that even though some of us won't be using the legs, it is possible to really enjoy it as a full body experience. So I'm just going to remind you of certain things, and as I guide you through the class, please make sure that you are doing it in your own way, so that nothing is being forced, nothing is uncomfortable, so that you feel welcome to change anything you need to change. The way we usually start is by observing the breath. So I'm going to ask you to take your hands onto the front of your body. So take one hand low onto your low abdomen and take the other hand a little bit higher, maybe into the middle of your torso, maybe the chest. And with your hands on your torso, just take some nice deep breaths. If you don't feel your torso moving, if you don't feel your hands moving as you breathe, then change the position of your hands. Because first, we want to establish the rhythm of the breath, the baseline rhythm of the breath. And we're always breathing. We're so used to it that we kind of lose appreciation of it, lose track of it. It's free, it's automatic. So let your breath deepen a little bit. Just little by little. And for most of us, it's hard to stay focused on the breath. because it's so automatic that the mind will start wandering and we'll forget that the assignment is to notice the breath. So one of the things that we can do, one of the techniques that we can use is to change the breath a little bit, change the style of it. So in this class, what we often do is we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So try that for a few rounds. And just acknowledge that every time you breathe in, the body expands, and every time you breathe out, the body shrinks, it contracts. So again, the assignment is breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And count your own breath without making any kind of judgment. Just establish a rhythm and count how long your natural inhale is and how long your natural exhale lasts. And acknowledge, are they the same in rhythm? Are they the same in duration? So in order to get a realistic reading, you must establish a steady rhythm, of course. And then we're going to try to level out the breath. So let's say your inhale is longer. See if you can shorten the inhale just a little bit by a count or two, and lengthen the exhale just a little bit by a count or two. So at no time does it become forced. At no time are you gasping or short of breath. That would ruin it. So we're bringing focus to the breath, and we're drawing the concentration in. We're drawing the focus in. This is a technique that we use in yoga. It's called Pratyahara. So it's like a withdrawal of the senses. And when we're doing that, we are really working on our powers of concentration. And when we can sustain our concentration over time, we're working toward a meditation practice. So keep counting the breath. And now we're going to try to stretch the exhale a little bit longer by just a count or two. Just a little bit. So if you inhale to the count of 4, exhale to the count of 6. And keep that style of breath where you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So keep that style of breath, and now we're going to start to move the arms to its rhythm. So on the next breath in, you're going to stretch the arms out in front of you, reach nice and long, and as you exhale, bring your arms down. So just keep on doing that to the rhythm of the breath. Inhale, lift the arms up, and exhale, bring the arms down. So let me see that again. We have Stacy from Marin County. We have some friends from Boston. David and Jim from Boston. Marion Schooling Vessels from Baltimore. Nice. Thank you for joining us. Just keep on doing that. And don't worry about how I'm moving. That's not important. What's important is that you move to your own breath's rhythm. Don't worry about how high the arms go or how symmetrical they are. It doesn't matter. Go to your own breath's rhythm. Let's do 5 more. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And 4 more. 2 more. Maybe a little bit higher with the arms. And then the next time we're going to lift the arms up and we're going to keep them up as high as you comfortably can. Comfortable is the operant word. And then for the next few rounds of breath, reach with one arm and then reach with the other. And as you're doing that, you're extending and reaching from the shoulder, and let your rib cage move. So go back and forth. So as you let your rib cage move, feel the spine stretch nice and long. Feel the core of the body at work. Do a few more like that. So we're alternating one arm and the other. So move from the shoulder blade. In fact, visualize the shoulder blade on the back of the body. And then once more, each side. Reach and reach. And then we're going to come into neutral. We're going to let the arms just relax. We're going to let the hands relax. Okay, we're going to go back to moving with the breath rhythm, of course. This time it's going to be the head and neck. So usually when we start an exercise, the range of motion is a little bit diminished. And then when we repeat the movement, we can feel the body stretch out and strengthen. So the same with the neck and head, so no forcing. So on your next breath in, let the head lift. So maybe feel a stretch in the front of the neck. And then on the exhale through the mouth, you let your head come down, so maybe you feel a stretch on the back of your neck. So just keep on doing that back and forth. So it's a slow movement that matches the breath. And as you're doing this, root down through the feet, root down through the legs, and get a sense of that steady grounding through the lower limbs, grounding through the pelvis, through the sitting bones, grounding through the hips. And if you notice your breath changing rhythm, just go with it. Slow down or speed up the movement to match your breath. So that really it's an intimate and inward study of what your body needs. Let's do a few more rounds like that. The head lifts as you breathe in. The head drops as you breathe out. So keep that style of breath. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Maybe you feel like you can get a little more movement now. You might get the sense that the rest of your body wants to get involved. So let's just do that. Let's keep on going with this. So inhale, lift the head. This time move your shoulders back so you're stretching the chest forward. And then exhale, like before, drop the head, but bring your shoulders forward and round your upper back. Okay, keep on going back and forth. Go with the breath. So the wind is picking up. And it's a little bit choppy. So really move your spine here. So you're arching and you're rounding. You're extending and you're flexing. Go back and forth. Press down with your hands onto whatever surface you're touching, whether it's your own legs, whether it's the arms of your chair or the wheels of your chair. So move your spine as much as you can. And move your shoulder blades. As you inhale, you move your chest forward, your shoulder blades come toward the spine. As you exhale through the mouth, your shoulder blades move away from the spine. Let's do 5 more. So we're working the core of the body too. As you inhale, you're stretching the front of the body. And as you exhale, you're compressing the front of the body. And a lot of Hatha yoga moves, a lot of the physical postures are concerned with exactly that, making complementary actions. Arching and rounding. Let's do one more. Arching, looking up. Rounding, looking down. Okay, now let's come back into neutral. Okay, so just keep that style of breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, get that sense of rooting down. So from the pelvis, through the legs, all the way to the heels, to the toes, feet as well. And we're going to move the rib cage from side to side. So for this one, it might help to hold on with your hands or brace yourself with your arms. So we're going to move the rib cage to one side. We're going to come back to the center. And we're going to move the rib cage to the other side and come back to the center. So notice right now the shoulders are staying pretty level. And the pelvis is staying in place. So we're just kind of sliding the rib cage to one side, back to center, and sliding to the other side, and back to center. It's like a belly dancing move, isn't it? Okay, so now we're going to make a circle. So it's going to be all the moves that we've done so far. So let's start. Come into neutral. Now you figure out how to make this match your breath, okay? So that's, you do it in your own way, but try to stay aware of the breath and keep that style of breath in through the nose and out through the mouth for now. So it's going to kind of look like this. We're going to lift the head. The chest is going to come forward. Move the ribs to one side. Round the back. Drop the head. Move the ribs to the other side. Back, forward. So we're arching, going to one side. We're rounding, going to the other side. Back and forth. So many of us have tightness in the rib cage. When you consider the shape of the rib cage, the number of ribs, the shape of the ribs, the task that they have to protect all those vital organs, there's a lot of opportunity for tightness. Let's come back to neutral, and then let's go in the opposite direction. So, go for it. So a lot of us are concerned with stretching out the legs or stretching out the neck. Really, the rib cage has so much tightness for a lot of us, especially the upper back. Keep on making those circles. And you do it to your own breath's rhythm. So really the objective is to stay focused on the breath. But it's not wrong if you don't move exactly to its rhythm. It's not punishable. So let's come back to neutral. We're going to come back to an upright position. Okay. And we're going to keep working with the core. Okay. So we've had a couple of these discussions with the crew on the boat about how when we're on a boat, especially when it's a little bit choppy and we're trying to stay upright, of course, we're always kind of very naturally, instinctively moving and adjusting to the way that the waves are rocking the boat. So it's all about proprioception. It's all about how we interpret how our body parts are relating to gravity, how they're relating to each other, right? So we're gonna go with this same idea of leaning the torso forward and leaning the torso back. So first, just hold on lightly with your hands. This isn't so much about arching and rounding, kind of back and forth. Now, if you feel comfortable doing it without the arms, holding on without the hands, then do that. Having your arms like in front of you like this, maybe folding them over the chest. Or if you want, you can have the arms out in front of you like this, or partially straight, or all the way straight. And go with the breath. And however you're using the arms, really make them active. So we can get away with just kind of like not using the arms very much, but that kind of takes away from the focus of the moment. So if we put a little more body action into it, a little more muscular action, we're getting more body awareness. And anytime we do that, we're kind of bringing ourselves into the present moment a little more effectively. Let's do that a few times more. So even when I'm not directing you with inhale and exhale, please try to stay aware of it. You lean forward as far as you comfortably can. You know yourselves. Let's do 3 more. And then one last one. And then we're going to come back to neutral. We're going to let the arms relax at our sides. Okay, so we're going to keep on going, of course. We always keep on going. This time we're going to do a side to side neck stretch. And of course, we're going to do it to the breath's rhythm. We'll start off like this with the neck going from side to side, head going from side to side. And then we're going to add the shoulders. So one shoulder's going to lift, the other one's going to drop. Go back and forth. And then we're going to add the torso a little bit more, and we'll do this with the arms, okay? So first, just the head and neck, okay? So everybody, a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale through the mouth, let your head fall to one side. And as you inhale, bring the head back to the center, and as you exhale, let it go to the other side. Let's do that back and forth. So I hope that you can hear the sound of the waves, that steady rhythm, because it's really relaxing. It's very soothing. And maybe today we'll be lucky enough to have some dolphins in the background like we have had in the past. Go to the breath's rhythm. So let's say the inhale brings you back to upright. And the exhale takes your head to the side. So now let's add the shoulders. Whichever way your head is going, let that shoulder drop. The other one lifts. And complement that with the other side. So again, we're using that same move that we used earlier of moving the rib cage to the side. So of course your body will make requests. So listen to that wisdom, those requests from your body. It's telling you how it wants to move, how it wants to stretch, where it wants to strengthen. Let's do one more each side before we add the arms. Now we're going to come back to neutral. We'll pause here for a moment and we'll stretch the arms out to the sides. Now obviously I'm in this chair where this is as low as I can get my arms. So of course we're dealing with the chair that we're in, right? So make your arms active. Let's just get a contrast here. If I have the arms just relaxed at the sides, I'm not getting that much feedback. But if I tighten all the muscles in the arms, if I engage all the muscles isometrically, I'm getting more sensation. Let's go with that. Now, deep breath in. Exhale, let your head go to one side. Let one elbow lift as you reach out through the other arm. Nice, I see you. And then inhale back to the center. And then exhale the other way. And inhale, so just keep on going with the breath. And just slow it down. So that's really what we're trying to do in these classes. Slow it down. We're so used to moving so fast all the time. Our to-do list is long and full. Just listen to the waves. Stretch the arms long. So notice how easy it is to forget the assignment. Get as much movement as you can out of these ribs. And keep that sensation, that sense of rooting down from the feet through the legs, keeping them steady and grounded through the hips. Let's do one more each side. And then we're going to come all the way back to neutral. Okay, now let your arms relax here. Okay. And take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And the waves are kind of mesmerizing, aren't they? So we're going to go back to the movements of the head and neck, and then we're going to add a little bit of a twist of the torso, right? So this is what it's going to look like. We're going to take a deep breath in through the nose, and we're going to exhale through the mouth, turning the head. We're going to keep the head turned, and on the inhale, we're going to lift the head up, and on the exhale, we're going to bring the head down. So we'll do that from side to side. So starting in neutral, take a nice deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth, turn your head to the right. Keep your head turned that way. Inhale, lift your head up, looking up toward the sky. And exhale, bring your head down, chin toward the chest. Inhale, head lifts. And then back to center. Same thing, other sided. Deep breath. Facing forward. Exhale, turn your head to the left. Keep it turned to the left. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, bring the head down, chin to the chest. Inhale, head to neutral. And return to the center. Welcome, Mike from Cleveland, Ohio. Let's do that again. Deep breath. Inhale, head facing forward. Exhale, turn your head to the right. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, bring the head down. Inhale, lift the head up. Bring your head back to center. Okay, same thing again. Inhale, head facing forward. Exhale, turn your head to the left. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, bring the head down. Inhale, lift the head up. Back to neutral. Okay, now we're going to keep on going with the idea of the twist, but this time we're going to take the hands onto the torso, okay? We're going to take a nice deep breath in, facing forward. This time as you exhale, turn your whole body, upper body, as much as you can. Inhale, lift your head up. Exhale, bring your head down. Notice the hands stay on the torso. Inhale, lift your head up. Back to the center. So we have to use the core of the body to make this happen. Start again, facing forward. Deep breath in. Exhale, turn your upper body to the left. Inhale, lift the head up. Exhale, bring the head down. Inhale, lift the head to neutral. And exhale, turn forward. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but it's just going to be every exhale, we're going to turn the upper body from side to side without moving the head right now. So take a nice deep breath in, facing forward. And as you exhale, turn your upper body as far as it'll comfortably go to one side. Using the core of the body, inhale, bring your head and your torso back to center. Exhale, turn the other way. Inhale, back, forward, and exhale, turn. Inhale, back to the center, and exhale, turn again. So when you do this, you might notice that your shoulders want to come forward. Do your best to keep your shoulders back. And by that I mean, stay aware of your shoulder blades. Squeeze them toward your spine. Let's do 2 more each side. Working on the core of the body, also working on our proprioception, trying to stay focused on the posture. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to strengthen and stretch those areas of the body that make it easy to sit upright. So we're trying to make healthy posture easy. Okay, now we're going to get going with this twist thing. So as you can see, there's a theme of where we kind of build one exercise upon the other. But really the most important thing is to stay aware of the breath. Okay. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, you're going to turn your body to the right. Now let's keep the body like this, turn to the right, and hold on with your hands to whatever you got. Okay, we're going to keep twisting like this for the next few breaths. Okay, and you're going to notice definitely how the body moves as you breathe. You really can feel it even more when you're doing a twist. You can really get in touch with that, the expansion and the deflation. So whether you're holding onto the sides of your chair or the wheels of your chair or whatever, arm of your chair, even holding onto your own leg, doesn't matter. We're just trying to establish that firm rooting. And if it's okay for your neck, you turn your head to look toward the space behind you. I mean, look at that view. If I really twist a lot to the right, I see Coconut Grove behind me, Edgewater Drive, Grove Isle. Okay, so the lower body is rooted and steady. So visualize that, feel that. Now we're going to do the same thing with the head and neck. So turn your head as far as it'll comfortably go to the right. And when you make your next inhale, you lift your head up. And as you make the exhale, you bring the head down. Back and forth, lifting the head up as you inhale. And bringing the head down as you exhale. So let's do 5 more like that. Slowly with the breath. And notice if your body is developing a craving to move in a slightly different way. Because we're going to maintain this twist and we're going to add another move that we've also done together today. And that is to add the rounding and arching of the back. So here we go. Inhale, lift the head. This time open up the chest. So you're arching the back. Squeezing the shoulder blades toward each other. And then exhale, you drop the head and you round the back so your shoulder blades move away from each other. Okay, just repeat that. Make use of your hands. Remember, there's no wrong way to do it. The only thing that would be wrong is if it were painful. That's not nice. We don't want to do that. So as we do this, the mind is going to wander away from the task at hand. Just try to stay focused on what you're doing. You're doing it for you. Okay, now the next one we're going to hold. So keep the twist of the upper body by using your arms. Inhaling, lift the head, draw the shoulder blades toward each other behind you. And then exhale, round the upper back, belly button in toward the spine. Now stay here like this for the next few breaths. So we're moving the shoulder blades away from each other. We're trying to direct the stretch into that space between them. And sometimes you can do tiny little micro movements or changes that you feel. That's important. Doesn't matter what an onlooker can see.
You create the resistance that you want. Let's stay here for 5 more breaths. Experiment with little micro movements. 3 more breaths. 2. And then we're going to slowly rise up and return to neutral. So we're going to face forward. Okay, see how it feels to be in neutral again. And notice how one side feels compared to the other. Yeah, are you ready for the other side? Are you ready? Okay, I got the thumbs up from Melissa. Okay, good. So a deep breath in, facing forward. Fresh air, so lucky. Exhale, turn your upper body to the left. Okay, hold on with your hands. Pause, get a grip. Would you? Get a good grip. With your hands, with your arms. And this grip, you know, it's not at the expense of the lower body. Lower body is solid, no forcing. Okay, now the head and the neck. Keep the upper body like it is. Take a deep breath in. Lift up the head. And exhale, bring the head down. Oh, look at that. I can see downtown Miami from this angle. Inhale. Isn't she beautiful? And exhale. Just keep on moving with the breath. Again, feel that sense of rooting through the feet and the legs and the hips. Feel the power of the breath moving through you. It's amazing that we have this life force that sustains us, and we kind of take it for granted, don't we? Let's not do that. Edwin Agostini is with us too. Cool. Hi, Edwin. Arching. Start that arching and that rounding of the back now. Feel your shoulder blades as you inhale. Feel them come toward the spine. And as you exhale, you round the upper back. Feel the shoulder blades move away from the spine. So feel free to change whatever you need to change. It feels so good to get these stretches in the rib cage. So yes, the idea is that we want to develop healthy posture, but sometimes in order to get this stretch that we need, we have to really slouch. But we're slouching on purpose. So that's what we're going to do next, and we're going to hold it. So as you inhale, you lift the chest, you open the collarbones, you lift the heart. And then exhale, you round the back. So we're in that twist, we're in that kind of purposeful slouch. And stay there. Make tiny little micro movements. Micro movements that help you get the sensation that your body is asking for, that your body is craving. And notice how it's different on this side. Most likely it's different. So stay in that rounded position if you like for a few more breaths. Really curl. And last exhale here, and we're going to slowly come up into neutral, into an upright position. Okay. Now we're facing forward. Okay. So from here, let's warm up the legs a little bit. So we can do that through massage. We have a couple different ways to do it. Actually, I should have mentioned before, your first option is not to follow my suggestion at all. I should have said that at the start, I think. So We can not do it, or we have a couple of different ways that we can warm up the muscles of the thighs. So first we can press down with the hands onto the thighs and kind of travel from the hips to the knees, back and forth, and you determine how much pressure you want to put on your legs. So we are really just working on that circulation here. And if you want to get a little bit more sensation, or you want to penetrate the muscle tissue a little more deeply, you can lean forward. This is how Woody always elects to do it, from the Woody Foundation. Leaning forward with the weight of the body, putting the forearms on the thighs and kind of going from side to side. And however you're doing it, just try to be systematic so you're covering as much territory as you can. And then the next option that we have that you might want to do is to take your hands into friendly fists and bounce them lightly on the thighs. So if you're on blood thinners, please be careful that you're not punching yourself really hard. If you have your heels directly under your knees, you know, if your shins are kind of parallel to the floor, perpendicular to the floor, you get the vibration, especially when you bounce your hands kind of close to the kneecaps, the end of the femur bone. The vibration travels through the bones of the lower legs into the heels, into the feet. That vibration is good for bone health. We know that. And notice, if you're electing to do this, to kind of bounce your hands on your thighs, it's one of the more percussive things that we've done together so far today. And notice that even when it's something just like this, not that extreme, the breath will deepen just because the body needs a little more oxygen. It's kind of cool. I guess it's a shiatsu technique, massage technique. Okay, this next one is for David Collins, massaging around the kneecaps. So take the hands, spread them out as much as you can. Notice your breath. And then, very carefully, place your hands on your kneecaps, and with your fingertips, start to massage around your kneecaps. Just cover all that territory. Inner edge, outer edge, underneath, on top. You know, it wouldn't be Miami if someone weren't kind of blasting some kind of reggaeton or salsa or something. So I don't know if you can hear our friends on jet skis over here. It's just a very Miami thing. And, you know, cormorant flying by as we do that. Nice. Okay, so we're going to come back up into neutral. And that's a good idea right there. So we're going to work on some leg stretches, okay? So it works best if you have an extra chair to place your foot on. I don't know if you guys have an extra chair around you. Let me see if I can manifest a chair. Oh, look at that. It worked. It worked. Amazing. Okay, so we're going to see if we can get one leg onto the chair, okay? So I'm going to stretch it out. So a lot of times when we do this in the studio, we have a bunch of chairs at the studio. They're just sitting there alone right now, not being used. But if you have anything to put your foot on, anything, depends on the setup in your room. Sometimes what we do is we'll kind of, because sometimes the foot will have a tendency, or the leg will have a tendency to roll in or out, so we can kind of like set it up a little bit, like with a block on one side or the other side. This is if you have all the yoga paraphernalia. So with the leg stretched out, we're just getting a nice little, with the leg elevated, with the foot elevated, we have a chance to get a stretch in the back of the leg, okay? Now, if you don't have the chair right in front of you, then take your hands and start to massage the back of your thigh. So we're kind of massaging those hamstring muscles. Oh, and it's raining. How cool.
So by massaging the hamstring muscles, we can kind of get the same effect that we would get in a stretch. We can simulate that same effect. And since I know that some of you might not have had the chair or the extra thing to prop your foot up on, because I didn't give you very much forewarning, did I? We won't spend that much time on it today. But just kind of put that into your repertoire of, when you're hanging out. It's a nice thing to do, to just elevate the foot a little bit and get a nice little stretch. It doesn't have to be very high. It doesn't have to be very straight. Let's go to the other side. So we're going to retract that foot. And let's do the same thing with the other side. So we're going to hoist the leg up there. And sometimes it makes sense to hold on to the shin a little bit because if the leg has a tendency to roll out or in, we want to make sure that the knee is safe. And just elevating the foot a little bit is nice. It's nice just to get a little bit of a mist from the rain. And now we can start that same massage technique. This is going to do wonders for our garden. It seems a little bit wasteful for the rain to fall into the bay, though, doesn't it? So, it's always welcome. Now get a massage on the back of that thigh. And it's nice to do with one leg at a time, And those of you who want to practice this at home, just sitting upright like this and having one leg out at a time is a nice way to get the stretch on the back of the leg. But remember, it doesn't have to be very high. Some of you are more, if you're more flexible, you can kind of lean forward a little bit, but let's not be extreme about it. Because after all, just by sitting, we're already in a little bit of a forward bend because of the way that the hip is flexed. And again, because I know that not everybody will, has the setup exactly with the chair or the extra something to prop up the foot. We won't spend that much time on this today. So we'll retract that leg and we'll come back to neutral. Okay. So from here. Isn't that amazing? Okay, thank you. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of rotation. So we're going to do some articulations of the shoulders, okay? So some of you said that you like doing this. So let's do this. Let's consider, how much movement we have in the shoulders. A lot. It's the most mobile joint in the body. And it's also, let's face it, prone to injury. So I want to be careful. But let's experiment, because a lot of times finding comfort has to do with just a tiny, slight little movement, right? So let's do this. Let's turn the palms up. So have the arms out in front of you. Turn the palms up, and then turn the palms down, and up, and down. So do that a few times. Your arms don't have to be totally straight. So when we're turning the palms up, we're externally rotating from the shoulder, really. And we turn the palms down, we're internally rotating. But notice, we can really, some of you can go pretty far so the palms face down, but if you keep on rolling the shoulders in, the palms can face out. Okay, back and forth. So make your arms really active. So by that, I'm suggesting that you isometrically contract all the way to the shoulder blades and to the chest. And then start to move your arms away from each other, your hands away from each other. And keep on doing that action. Rotating in, rotating out. And then what starts to happen? When you get your arms out to the sides, they don't have to be parallel to the floor, by the way, or parallel to the water. Notice what starts to happen. The shoulders are involved, of course, but quite naturally the rib cage starts to get involved. And then start to bend the arms a little bit. And keep them bent as you do this, back and forth. So essentially the idea is still the same. We're inwardly rotating and externally rotating.
inward and outward. Get your mind to really focus on what's happening in your shoulder blades. And as you externally rotate, so let's do that on the inhale. Inhale, you externally rotate, your heart lifts. Feel the bottom tip of the shoulder blades squeeze into your back. Keep on doing that. Make the arms really active. So you're engaging the triceps and the biceps. Okay. And then let's just pause in neutral. Let's shake out the hands, the fingers, the arms. And then let's stretch out one hand, okay? So let's say it's the right hand, okay? So I'm asking you to use your right hand first. So there's one thing, the one issue is flexing, extending at the fingers, bending them back like this. And then another issue is getting the stretch at the wrist or the forearm, okay? So let's, just acknowledge that there's two separate actions that are happening, and take your right hand onto whatever surface works for you, like your own thigh or your the side of your chair, whatever, and then get that sensation. So you're stretching, getting the stretch in the palm, moving your fingers away from the fingertips away from the palm, and then get that sensation in the forearm as well. And that might mean changing the position of your elbow. And then take that right hand, shake it out a little bit, and then let's stretch the thumb on that same hand. So do it any way you like, any way that works for you. And then let's do the same thing to the other hand. So shake out that right hand, and we'll move to the left hand. So now, the left hand, we're going to get those two different areas to stretch. So the fingers, where they attach to the rim of the palm. And then getting the sensation in the wrist and in the forearm. And then back to neutral. Okay, let's try something else. Okay, so we're going to let the elbows bend a little bit, and we're going to hold on either to the sides of the chair, the wheels of the chair, or even the sides of it, depending on what your setup is. Let me show you what we're doing now. It's going to look like this. Deep breath in, the elbows are aimed out, and then exhale, we're going to twist, we're round, we're going to let that elbow come forward, let the shoulder come forward, and then inhale back to neutral. Okay, so that's the assignment here for the next few breaths. Nice deep breath in, exhale, round. Deep breath in, both elbows down, exhale, round. So your shoulder comes forward, your elbow comes forward. Do that a few times more, and then we'll hold it on each side. So let one shoulder and elbow come forward, and then just hold it like that for a moment. And then come back to neutral, and then we're going to do the other side. Of course, we're going to do the other side. So you let that shoulder and elbow come forward, you round. You see how that feels? And then we're going to slowly come up. Okay, now, we do a lot of things in this class that have to do with, physical stretching and strengthening, but a lot of it has a component of the imagination. So now, we've done a lot of moves today. We moved the head around, moved the neck around, we moved the spine around, we arched and rounded, we did a twist, we incorporated that arching and rounding in the twist. We did this kind of thing, articulating the shoulders, moving that elbows and shoulders. So now, just imagine that you're at the bottom of the bay,
Now don't panic. It's only 12 feet. Okay, so when we do these, when we're setting ourselves up for a visualization, let's make it friendly. There's dolphins over here, okay? And friendly fish. No scary fish, okay? We're at the bottom, and we're just gonna float up to the top. And how are we gonna do it? We're gonna swim, but in your own way. So you just start to like move around like you're just swimming. We've got plenty of time. Your lungs are so full of air. Your body is so full of oxygen right now. So you're just kind of like swimming. If you want to move your legs, you move your legs. You're just kind of like swimming to the surface, however it works for you. I'm sure Macaulay is doing some kind of dance move here. So just kind of find your way. Oh, you're full of oxygen, surrounded by dolphins. How nice is that? Mermaids too, probably. Mermen, pardon me. Mer people. And you go all the way up to the surface. Take a nice deep breath in, reach up with your hands, and then exhale all the way to the surface. Do that a few times more, reaching up. Okay, so we're approaching our final exercise of the class. We always seal this class with an exercise of gratitude, because there's so much to be grateful for. And whatever city you're in, chances are that phase 1 of the reopening is approaching. For example, today in Miami, the marinas are open. There's progress. So now take your hands to the heart and just hold them there. Oops. We're talking about the symbolic heart. The heart that is associated with virtues that never go out of style and that are more important now than ever. Patience, tolerance, compassion, valor, courage, bravery. But let's focus on gratitude. Just acknowledge someone or something you're grateful for. This is the coolest part of class, because when we're together physically, we can say out loud what we're grateful for if you want. It's so heartwarming to hear what people say. Sometimes people really take a chance and kind of face a vulnerable moment, say what they're grateful for. Take a nice deep breath in. Think of the thing or the person that you're grateful for as if you're gathering the gratitude and bring it to the heart. Okay, do that several times. So it's a symbolic act. And then the next time you bring your hands to the heart, just pause with them there, focusing on that thing, that person that you're grateful for, that place, that memory, whatever. Now, when we're physically together, whether it's when we're doing the classes at Dharma Yoga Studio, or whether it's here on this boat, we've had at least a dozen people at a time in wheelchairs. It's pretty spectacular. What I'm trying to say is when there are more people here together, you get to hear people say out loud what they're grateful for. It's pretty cool. Unfortunately, only got me today, but I'll tell you what I always tell you, because it's always true, and that is, I'm so grateful that you came to class. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming. Thank you to our sponsors, the Woody Foundation. We couldn't do it without you, really. What you do for everybody in town is so impressive and so necessary and so open-hearted. And thank you to the Impossible Dream Foundation. What you do is incredible. And both of these organizations really have a similar mission, and that is to open eyes and open hearts, and to work on adaptive lifestyles
Duh. That's what it's about, obviously. We're all in it together. So thank you so much for coming. Hope that you enjoy this beautiful view. I don't know if we got any dolphins today. Yeah.